Friends, let's talk about America's favorite pastime bold political propositions that make you wonder if someone spiked the water cooler with something a little stronger than tap water. This time, it's former President Donald Trump, a man who needs no introduction and thrives on stirring the pot. He's back with a doozy of an idea, annexing Canada as the 51st state. You heard that right, folks? Trump envisions a future where the United States doesn't just share a border with Canada, it absorbs it entirely. Now before you start brushing up on your O Canada, or frantically Googling how to move to a remote island with spotty Wi-Fi, let's unpack this eyebrow-raising proposal. Trump's plan hinges on using economic force, not military might. Think of it as a hostile takeover, but instead of briefcases and boardrooms, it's tariffs and trade deals. It's like asking your neighbor to borrow a cup of sugar, and then casually suggesting they just move in and sign over the deed to their house. Now you might be thinking, John, this sounds completely bonkers. And you wouldn't be wrong, but hold on to your toques, Canada, because we're just getting started. So what's the method behind this maple-flavored madness? Trump's got a few reasons up his sleeve, and surprise, surprise, they're classic Trumpian talking points. First up, national security. According to Trump, merging the US and Canada would create a united front against those pesky global rivals Russia and China. It's like joining forces with your neighbor to ward off the neighborhood bullies. Except in this scenario, the neighbor has universal health care and a much more polite police force. Then there's the economic argument. Trump claims the US is getting a raw deal on trade with Canada, and that merging the two economies would eliminate tariffs, reduce taxes, and boost American businesses. It's the classic "we'll be stronger together" pitch, but with a hefty side of, and by stronger, I mean America will be even richer. Finally, Trump argues that the border between the US and Canada is an artificially drawn line. He yearns for a simpler time when North America was just one big happy continent, presumably before all those pesky Canadians started demanding things like affordable healthcare and a functioning postal service. Now, you might be tempted to dismiss all this as just another one of Trump's publicity stunts, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong. The man does love a good headline. He's repeatedly joked about making Canada the 51st state, even going so far as to post a photoshopped image on his social media platform Truth Social, showing the US flag draped over a map of Canada with the caption, "Oh Canada." He's also been caught on camera playfully telling hockey legend Wayne Gretzky that he could be the governor of Canada if his plan comes to fruition. It's all very tongue-in-cheek, of course, but it's hard to ignore the underlying sentiment. Trump knows how to tap into a certain segment of the American population that dreams of a more dominant, more powerful America, and what's more dominant than absorbing your biggest neighbor and turning them into a slightly colder version of North Dakota? Section 4. Political chess Democrats, demographics, and shifting power. But let's move beyond the bluster and look at the potential political ramifications. If, by some bizarre twist of fate, Canada were to actually become the 51st state, it would have a seismic impact on American politics. With over 40 million people, Canada would instantly become the most populous state, potentially shifting the balance of power in Congress. Now, given Canada's left-leaning political history, it's safe to assume that most Canadians would vote Democrat. This would be a major boon for the Democratic Party, potentially giving them a lock on the presidency and Congress for years to come. Of course, this is all purely hypothetical. The likelihood of Canada actually agreeing to be annexed by the US is about as high as the chances of me winning an Olympic gold medal in curling. Section 5. Reactions and repercussions from skepticism to speculation. So, how has the world reacted to Trump's audacious proposal? Well, the response has been a mix of amusement, bewilderment, and outright terror. Canadians, unsurprisingly, are less than thrilled about the prospect of being absorbed by their southern neighbor. From politicians to pundits to everyday citizens, Canadians have been quick to point out the many flaws in Trump's logic. Meanwhile, experts on international relations have largely dismissed Trump's proposal as a publicity stunt, arguing that it has zero chance of ever happening. But even if it's just a pipe dream, it's a dream that reveals a lot about Trump's worldview. He sees the world as a zero-sum game where one country's gain is always another country's loss. Section 6. Conclusion. A distant prospect with lasting implications. In conclusion, the likelihood of Canada actually becoming the 51st state is about as high as the chances of me winning an Olympic gold medal in curling while simultaneously solving climate change and achieving world peace. In other words, don't hold your breath. But even though Trump's proposal is about as realistic as a unicorn riding a roller coaster on the moon, it's still worth paying attention to. Why? Because it reveals a lot about Trump's mindset and his vision for America's role in the world. He's not content with simply being the leader of the free world. He wants America to be the entire damn world. And that, my friends, is a terrifying thought.